What's up? What's going on, people? Welcome to the Bourbon Jerks YouTube channel, live stream. If you are new here, I'm Tom. If you're not new here, still Tom. What is going on? Can you guys hear me? I'm flying solo tonight, sort of. So just give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the audio is okay. And we'll kind of get things kicked off here. I see my buddies here. I see Whiskey Nose. Game on. See everyone here tonight. Randall the Express, always on time. Got Top Dog. What's going on, John? The franchise. Will we root for the home team? I mean, if they don't win, it's a shame. Well, we weren't home today, but we did kick some ass. Roger Reese, what's going on? All right. Cheers the Express and Roger Dodger. Now, Roger is the Guardians guy down in the Cleveland area, so I know he's a fan. I don't know what Cleveland did today. Roger, you tell me. I just know that the Tigers won. I think it was 8-2. Just finished up on their home or season opener out in San Diego, of all places, which was probably for the better because if they were here, they might have got rained out. It was kind of shitty out, to be honest with you. So the theme of tonight's stream, I was kind of thinking of, well, what do I want to do here? And it just so happened that I got kind of a lot of samples in the mail this week. I got samples from Randall the Express. I got samples from Randall, formerly known as the Whiskey Shaman, who is now Off Topic Whiskey. I got samples from Greg E. And, you know, I had a few others laying around. I got maybe some from Marty, from Travis, Robeson, maybe one from Paul P. I got a mess of samples is the moral of the story here. And what I thought I might do is kind of sip through these and tell you if I think that these are good enough to make the opening day roster or if they need to get sent down to the minors. Thought I had a banner set up, but maybe it's not working here. Give me just a moment. Enter banner. Scroll across. Enter. And boom. Why it's at the top of the screen, I don't know, but there it is. So there. And dang Hooper, what's going on? Roger says Guardians play in Seattle. So is our division all on the West Coast to start the season here? Houston choked, of course. Are you an Astros fan? Richie Z is in the house. Cheers, Tom and Whiskey Friends, the usual crew of the same awesome Whiskey Friends. You know, that was a hell of a stream the other night on Marty's channel, his fifth anniversary, starting his channel. And the bottle giveaways were insane. I think there was upwards of like 26, 27, 28. I don't know. It was a ton. Just an epic stream. And, you know, Marty's been, you know, a friend of my channel, friend of mine. And to see everybody kind of show up and support his channel and chime in and hang out with him for a bit. That was cool to see. So cheers to everybody that, you know, made it over to that stream on Tuesday night. And are here hanging out on a Thursday. So first one that I've got that kind of piqued my interest, and this is from Greg E. All right, so Greg, even though he's down in Cincinnati area, and I'm up in Michigan, Greg sent me, try to get this focused. I don't know if y'all can read that, but what this is the Dragon's Milk Origin small batch cerise barrel. I think I'm saying that right. Cerise, C-E-R-I-S-E, which is some type of wine, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, let me know in the comments. I want to say it's like a cherry type wine. If it's not, then it ought to be. So this one sounded like it was going to be right up my alley, and I think that's why Greg sent it over to me. So I'm going to try a little bit of this one, see if this is good enough for the bigs or if this is minor league material. I have not had any of the Dragon's Milk small batches or origins that were finished in wine barrels, save for like a sip I had when we were at New Holland last summer, and that was like a sherry finish, which was spectacular, but I only got just a little bit of a taste. So interested to see how this one kind of measures up to the rest of the lineup there. So cheers, gang. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Thursday, a wonderful opening day. I don't know if you guys are baseball fans or not. I know some of you guys are. So, in chat, maybe call out, what's your team? What's your favorite baseball memory? What's your favorite part of this time of year? I don't know. What baseball cards did you collect when you were a kid? When did you stop? Ooh, this smells awesome. It does not strike me as the Dragon's Milk profile, which is usually pretty readily identifiable with like those peachy notes. All right, so Richie Z says, San Francisco Giants, okay, hoping they'll be better this year. I saw that they got kind of bombed last night, and that was the official season opener, I suppose. And they put that on Netflix. I don't even know how you watch baseball anymore. Not because it's boring, but I would watch it. But where you find the games, because they're all divvied up between all the different streaming platforms, and I don't even know where to catch the Tigers game if I wanted to watch it. I just know that I could turn it on the radio, and that's probably what I would do. Or I'd flip on my phone and look at it on ESPN and kind of watch the game cast or the box score. But as far as actually finding the baseball game, it seems ridiculously hard these days. So, man, this smells amazing. This is like almost like a dark orange, but there is a brightness to it, like a bright caramel. Oh, I'd prefer to listen to the radio call. Yeah, maybe we're showing our age there, Roger, but that's how I prefer it right now too. All right, Marty says, I may or may not have a legal or illegal device associated with my TV. Funny story, Marty, when I first started practicing, before I was doing what I do now, I do remember, I forget which cable company it was, but I did have like a group of clients that were sued for having those black boxes back in the day. And this is probably about 23-ish years ago. But a slew of them all got sued for pirating on those little black boxes. And I don't even know what they were called or where we found them back then. And I don't know, people sent away for them in the back of magazines, or, they knew somebody that worked for the cable companies or what. But they figured out a way to track them, and a whole bunch of these people got sued. So we had to work out some settlements. This was a long time ago. Hooper, Tigers fan, but don't watch much Major League Baseball. Used to collect cards back in the Bo Jackson era. That's exactly when I was collecting cards, Hooper, and that's probably about when I stopped, around Bo Jackson, like late 80s, 88, 89, maybe is when I kind of got out of it. But I was trying to think this morning, what years was I collecting baseball cards? I want to say it was like 1981 through about 1989, 90. So anything that I have stashed away is from that era. We didn't keep them in mint condition, so none of them would have been worth a damn anymore. We sorted them, we traded them, we played with them. I don't know. We put them in our bike spokes. We did all kinds of, wasn't like today where you sit it in a glass box and you send it away to get graded. None of that stuff. We just had fun with them. I'm definitely showing my age, but that's okay. You know what, Roger? That is okay, and I'm kind of getting to that point in my time as well. I even got the readers here today, so I can read the labels on these sample bottles, because a lot of them are real small. We've got Jeff Wack in the house. Hey, Jeff, are you a Reds fan? I know you're down in that area. I was curious to know if you might be a Reds fan. Maybe you don't even like baseball. Remember those black boxes, but never owned one, or Richie don't cop to it, right? Jeff Wack, cheers. 3G Dragons. Indians fan will never call themselves. Indians fan will never call them Guardians. Yeah, it is a generic term. And I mean, I guess I'm kind of coming around on it a little bit, but after, however many years, 50 years of it being the Indians, as far as I'm concerned, it still seems strange, the Guardians, but whatever. At AAU basketball practice, we'll be in and out of chat, but also Reds fan. Well, hey, we've got that Dragon's Milk cerise in the glass here. I think I'm saying that right. Cerise. Nobody corrected me, so. Jeff says, yes, Reds fans. Many Chris Sabo and Ken Griffey baseball cards. Chris Sabo from the University of Michigan, if I remember, and they called him, did they call him like Spuds McKenzie or something goofy? I remember him. And I think it was Sabo and Larkin both played for the Reds in that era, and I think they were both Michigan guys. So they were kind of popular baseball cards around here. There we go. All right. Chris Barlow's here. Larkin as well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this Dragon's Milk cerise, however you say it, this one's making a major league roster for sure. If I was able to pick up a bottle of this, I would not hesitate to pull the trigger. One of the better variants I've had. I usually get the honey finished, the maple finished, whatever else I can find. Those are the two more common ones. But dang, this is good. If I could find this, I would be all over it. Barbecue, Ed. What's going on, Ed? Dodgers fan. Okay, I get it. You're out on the West Coast, out in California, so that tracks. If I was out that way, I'd probably watch the Dodgers. I mean, how could you not if you're a baseball fan? They've got, it's a veritable all-star team. They're going to be the heavy favorites again this year. Just watching Ohtani is insane. I do think, though, there's going to be a work stoppage after this season, and I think a big part of it is because everyone's pissed off at the Dodgers and, how all the money that they're spending and how they're doing it. But, you can't fault them if it's within the rules and they're winning the championships and they're making money. I mean, hard to fault them, right? I think of the Dodgers teams like with Steve Sachs and Steve Garvey and Pedro Guerrero. What do you think, Ed? Chris Barth. All right. Yeah, this is going to be hard to top. I mean, right off the bat, this is not just making a major league roster. This is going to be a cleanup hitter probably in somebody's lineup. Greg was pretty generous with the sample here, so I'm going to save this because this is just fantastic. So, anybody else sipping tonight? Tell me what you got in the Glens. There you go, Marty. Fernando, yep, that era. Fernando and Bob Welch, and was Bert Hooton one of their starters? All right. I think you're saying it right. Google says cerise, French for cherry. Okay, so I'm not a total idiot, usually. Barrel Bourbon Cigar Blend. Now, that one sounded really cool. How is it, Marty? Or do I got to wait for a review? It sounds like Barrel's kind of on a heater right now. All right, so let's find something a little bit out of the ordinary. Now, I mentioned I got some samples this week from Off Topic Whiskey, who used to be the whiskey shaman, Randall. He has the distinction of sending me the most bizarre, off-the-wall stuff I never heard of, places I've never heard of, finishes I've never heard of, just the most obscure stuff that I see. So I'm always up for something interesting. And the one that I have in my hand here says Lost Lantern, St. Augustine Distillery, Florida Straight Bourbon Whiskey. So Florida Straight Bourbon Whiskey, I didn't even know that was a thing. 5-year age statement, 59%. So we'll give this a try. Lost Lantern St. Augustine Distillery. All right. Got home half an hour ago. Picked up an Angel's Envy single barrel store pick port finish, not the usual blend. 55%. Let me know if you like that, Richie. I've yet to find an Angel's Envy that I liked, and I picked up the last one I picked up was a store pick too. I think it was 2 summers ago. And I'm like, okay, well, they were really hyping it up. I think I had a taste at the store. I was like, okay, this tastes all right. I bring it home and pour it up, and I just don't like it. It's probably like 90% full right now. Lance is in the house. What's going on, Lance? Lance, you a baseball guy? I asked the store I was at about it, and they said they sold a case out earlier. What do those go for, Richie, up by you? I think the store picks for Angel's Envy were about $90, give or take. At least around here. But it's just one of those brands that, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me too much. Anything I've had from them has just been underwhelming. Tom, is there a giveaway tonight? You know what, Marty? I kind of thought that everybody's still recovering from Tuesday night with Toby giving away his whole whiskey collection, and everybody putting in. I thought we'd just kind of hang out for a little bit, talk ball, bullshit a little bit. Probably a shorter stream tonight, and then we'll come back at you next week with some giveaways. I didn't get out and bottle shop at all this week, so I don't know what I'd give away other than samples or what have you. But I'll have something cool to give away next week, not just for the stream, but we'll also have the Patreon March bottle giveaway, because shit, next week it'll be April already. All right, so this one, I don't know. This is borderline. Florida Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It is a little funky. It tastes younger than 5 years. There's a strange, like, dairy note on it for me, so I'm not loving that right away. Okay. Got Wayne Arnold in the house. Cheers. It was interesting seeing Netflix first baseball game. It was really weird turning on Netflix and seeing that they had a baseball game advertised. Did you watch it? Was it a good broadcast? It just seems bizarre that Netflix is putting on games. 1990 Reds, huge fans after suffering through the 80s. I remember that Reds team from that year, that they were the big underdogs to the A's, right? And then they pulled it out. Wayne Arnold. Yeah, the Reds, they were pretty good for a while. I mean, they're not one of the teams that you think about having a contender year after year after year, but they've definitely had their time in the sun over the last 30, 40 years that I've been a baseball fan. All right, so this Lost Lantern St. Augustine Distillery, Florida Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 59% 5-year. It's not making the opening day roster, folks. This one is going to probably go on, I'd say, like maybe AA. Needs a little bit more time to develop, if you know what I mean. Just not making the cut right now. So that one, minors, we'll say that this Dragon's Milk was not just going to be a major league roster spot, but like a cleanup hitter. It was that good. So I'm going to pour the rest of that out, come back and get something else. Fire up the trusty glass washer. I know you guys were talking about those the other night on the stream. I try not to use it when I'm streaming because it's kind of loud, but maybe you don't pick that up so much on the mic because the mic's right here. All right, so let's move on to, how about this? Now, this sounds promising. This comes from Randall the Express, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but Randall has upped his label game when he sends out a sample. He's got the choo-choo train, the Randall Express. And this particular sample is a King's Family Distillery, which I like. Single barrel bourbon, aged 10 years, 103 proof. So it's not going to overwhelm you with the proof point. But that age statement sounds real promising, doesn't it? So I'm going to give this one a shot. King's Family Distillery. All right. Not too dark, but that's probably given the lower proof. But if it's a single, so it just means it's probably a low barrel entry point. You guys can see that. It's not terribly dark. Ooh, that's like a nice burst of citrus on the nose. All right. Go Rangers. Barlow, swept in 4 in 1990. Was that where they called their pitching staff the Nasty Boys? They had, was it Rob Dibble and Larkin, I think Sabo, we talked about earlier. But I think it was Rob Dibble who was like the big stud out of the bullpen, right? Am I wrong? Tom, 13 or so buying whiskey. And I believe this is just my second Angels bottle. Okay, it's 13 years or so, right? I think, Richie, I tried like their shelfer, which is like is it like about an 86 proof port finished bourbon. It's okay. Then they really hyped their rye. It was like $100 bottle. I remember having a pour, and it was just like mint toothpaste. Hated it. And every other Angel's Envy I've tried since has just kind of been pretty underwhelming, at least to me. Put me in, coach. Cheers, Randall. Right. King's Family Distillery, 10-year single barrel. Down the hedge. Yeah, like candied citrus. Nice. It's a nice bright palate. There's a bit of a finish there for 103 proof. This I'm digging. Yeah, this is making the roster for opening day. This is big league material right here. Okay, Myers, Carlton, Dibble, Nasty Boys. So it was Norm Carlton, right? Was it Randy Myers? I don't know why these things are important to me, but they are. Never bought a rye again. Oh, the rye again. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this Randall, this one's really good. How did you get this? Yeah. I don't know that I like this as much as that Dragon's Milk Cerise, but it's pretty damn solid. Yeah. Easily making the cut here tonight. Thanks, Randall. Appreciate that, man. Fun fact, I played summer ball against Barry Larkin. That is a fun fact. I don't think I ever played against anybody that ended up being any good. My buddy Danny Lopez, who might be in here at some point, he actually played some minor league ball and probably has some better stories. But I can't say I played with anybody that went on to any real fame as far as baseball goes. Pigeon Forge area on King's Family. I know that's where they're at, and I know that you can buy a lot of their stuff online. I don't know what their shipping details are. Cheers, Tiffany. That is my lovely wife. Travis Robeson got it for me. Travis is a great ambassador for King's Family. The two that I've got on my shelf, Travis got for me as well. All right, so cheers, dear. I don't know what this runs. Randall's about $100 bottle, I would guess, just by the 10-year age statement, maybe a little more on 110. Cheers, young lady. Fun fact. I love fun facts generally, and when they include baseball, that's just off the charts. So here's Hooper. Fun fact, Eric Davis and I have the same birthday, different years. All right, Eric Davis is to me, one of those what could have been. I mean, he had a run where he was just lights out. He could have been maybe like one of the 3 best players of the game. But I think it's mostly injuries. Kind of derailed his career a little bit, shortened it more than you would have hoped, but just had all the tools. And for a good run there, he was it, man. Stopping in early. Have fun, boys. Well, thank you for saying hello. Barry played at Cincinnati Moeller and then summer ball with the Legion team. Okay. Hoopa. All right. So King's family, easily a major league ball player right there. All right. So find something from somebody else here. I've got, how about this one? I had this one sitting here for a minute. And this is an Oak Lore Rye. I don't know if you guys can see these or not, if it's the shine from the lights, but Oak Lore Rye 92 proof. This is from our friend Marty, the Whiskey Nose. So he sent me a couple of these a few months ago when he was talking about this brand. So you got to try these. And I don't think I got to any of them. So maybe I did and I forgot, but I still have the rye. So we're going to give that one a shot here. So thank you, Marty. And these are from basically all you guys. I got stuff here from Mark Boyer, Carlos, Whiskey Corner, Paul P., Randall, The Express, some from Marty, like I said, Off Topic Whiskey, Greg E. Just a pretty eclectic collection here this evening. So cheers, gang. Appreciate you guys sending me random samples. All right, so Oak Lore Rye 92 proof. I'm not expecting a whole lot from this one, Marty. Maybe like a utility infielder type vibe where it's not going to blow me away, but maybe it's solid and need to find a place for it on my roster here. Let's go. See, Fritzy's in the house. What's going on, Josh? See that Tiger score? All right. It's sticking to the glass pretty well. I don't know the age on this or anything like that. I'm guessing probably not too high. I'm guessing this is probably like their flagship-ish type rye. I don't know, Marty. What do you have to say about this one? It's about 4 or 5-ish years. It's got a nice smell to it. It is a little grainy, but like some citrus going on there. I'm picking up a lot of citrus vibes on these pours here so far this evening. Yeah, but like grain and citrus is my initial reaction on this one. Not bad, not off-putting, not terribly inviting either. Somewhere in the middle, you know, average, decent. Yeah. All right. It is kind of nice and syrupy on the palate. It's got a little buttery, more buttery vibes than I was expecting. It's got a good mouthfeel. It's a decent viscosity for 92 proofer. Might be the thickest one so far. Kind of like some honey vibes. I am kind of digging this. Tom Glavine was in a high school baseball division, a little older than me, so didn't face him. Was a dominant hockey player in high school. Lance, were you a fan of those 90s Braves teams that Glavine played on? Those were some of my most favorite teams to watch. And, you know, talking earlier about how to even watch a game, or, you know, where do you turn on to watch a ball game anymore? But every single Braves game was on with TBS or WTBS back in the day. And they had such great teams with all those pitchers that, you know, my brother and I, Dave, he's a huge baseball fan as well. We would sit and watch those Braves games almost every night. And, you know, I was a big fan of Maddox. My brother loved Chipper Jones. My mother actually taught Steve Avery, who was on that pitching staff, if you guys remember him. He was local. She's a high school English teacher. Stay jerky. Travis Robinson, you goddamn right. I actually got some samples from you here on my bar, Travis. On the off chance I thought you might stop by. It is a King's family, which we just did, and I really enjoyed. And I'll probably get to that one next while you're hanging out. Cooper's Craft. You know what, Roger? I've never had a Cooper's Craft. No, actually, I take that back. I had it in a blind, and it won. It was, when I was doing that fantasy Gentlemen and Whiskey's Fantasy Whiskey League, it was one of the heats, and I think it won that particular blind. So for the category it was, I forget, like maybe shelfers or something along those lines. It performed pretty well. Carlos Payne, you went to my high school, a little younger. I think he spent some time in Detroit. He absolutely did. He was, I think, one of our better players during an era where we weren't very good. He might have been like our lone all-star one year or something. I think he was also featured in Moneyball. Lance. Braves were tough on Ohio. Yeah, Braves were tough on everybody for that decade. I'm still surprised that they only ever got, one championship out of that. FYI, no age on this Angels Den, but looked it up. Between 4 and 6 years, and Ruby Port finished between 3 and 6 months. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't pique my interest. For whatever reason, things appeal to me, things don't. The Angels Envy, when I taste it, it just doesn't sing to me, Richie. Cheers, Randall. Back from dinner, Gary. All right, settle in. All right, so this Oak Lore Rye 92 proofer is surprisingly solid. It's probably right on the cut line, maybe like a fringe major leaguer, but I dig it. I'm guessing it's probably pretty friendly on price, Marty. God. Ricardo! Cheers and good evening to you, sir. Do the Tigers still have a cutout of Sparky Anderson to stay? He's still the manager. I think AJ Hinch has gone a long way towards making Tigers fans maybe forget a little bit about Sparky Anderson, because we had a run of some pretty shitty managers, but then we did have Leland for a good spell, and he was wildly popular here, Travis. Then we had like Ausmus, and people hated his guts. Gardenhire, people liked, but he just didn't have a lot of success. But people seem to really like AJ Hinch, and for what it's worth, I think he does a pretty damn good job with a lineup that has its limits, to put it kindly, the last couple of years. Tom, it is North Carolina Southern Star juice. That, anytime I have something that comes back to the Southern Star, it turns out it's something that I dig. So I guess that's not surprising. So yeah, this one's close, but we're going to put this one on the Major League roster here, Marty. So cheers, buddy. Did you prefer their bourbon or their rye? I don't know that I would have guessed that that's a rye if I was in a blind situation, Marty. There wasn't like really any mintiness or earthiness. More citrus, candied vanilla, good viscosity to it. Yeah, not what I would expect from a relatively young rye. So yeah, we dig that one. Is Southern Star cask strength worth the pickup? Richie, I would say so. The only one that I've got at cask strength, that was actually one of the picks that we did last summer with Evernorth. It was the Whiskey Friends and Dusty Dan. That was the Sergeant Slaughter pick. That was cask strength, and it was the wheated bourbon. But we all thought it was fantastic. All right. So cheers, gang. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit on a Thursday evening. Hope you're doing something fun. Hopefully your team won today. All right, so while Travis is here, let's do another King's Family, which is actually from Travis. And Travis sent me, Jesus, one of the biggest boxes of samples and stuff that anyone's ever sent me. I drank a lot of them, but there's still a lot left. So thanks again, Travis, for the gift that keeps on giving. This in particular is King's Family Distillery Tennessee Stan blended whiskey, 99.1 MGP bourbon. Okay, wait a minute. 99.1 MGP bourbon, 12%, 51% rye, plus 2%. Okay, so it's got a whole lot of stuff going in here. And he says it retails for about $69. Yeah, so it's got some interesting stuff here. You know, what's interesting, Travis, is, you know, the Evernorth just did that Crimson Hollow, which was a blend of bourbon and light whiskey, and then it was like essentially re-racked in a new barrel. I couldn't think of any other time I've seen bourbons blended with light whiskey, but it sounds like I've got my hands on one right now. So let's give this a shot, right? All right. Son of a Gunderson. How you doing, Eric? Good evening. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. Travis says this is a special blend. They did this the one time. So it's a one-off. Cheers, Travis. Thanks for sharing. All right. Okay, get a little funk on this one. A little age. Some dustiness to it, maybe. I do kind of get that note. Maybe I'm not explaining it terribly well, but this particular note that I'm trying to get at, trying to describe, is something that I tend to get from light whiskey. So maybe that's kind of coming to the forefront here. I think it's that age. There you go. Yeah, you put Marty's link up there. If you're not following Marty, what are you even doing, right? And Eric, thank you. When, you know, I notice when you're in these chats, you're always shouting out other channels. So, you know, we all appreciate that. You know, trying to bring us all together. That's what it's really all about. So, thank you. Tennessee Standard is mostly bourbon with light whiskey blended to taste. What do you have is one they added an 8-year rye. Okay. Smells good. It is rich, dense, a good bit of vanilla, like some cake notes, like the powdered sugar, confectionery sugar, kind of vibes. It's got some good sweetness to it. Yeah, maybe a little honey. I dig this one, Travis. It is a little lighter on the back end. Like the finish isn't overly long, but it's pleasant. The proof on this is 118, so that's surprising. I would have figured it would hit a little harder. But no, this is quite good. We've got Angry Irish Mac. Go ahead and throw your link up there, buddy. I think Mac is one of these guys I discovered back when I was on TikTok, and then I noticed he's on Instagram, and I didn't know he was on YouTube until somewhat recently. So I subscribed to his channel. Go check him out. He's a good dude for one. He's got some interesting opinions for two, and he just seems like he's got some interesting things to say. So go check out Angry Irish Mac. He's not really that angry. Or maybe I just haven't seen him angry. I am everywhere. All right, like Roy Kent, right? Gunderstruck. Whenever Eric, whenever I see Gunderson, I just think of Fargo. This one double gold at San Fran for a blended bourbon and best in class. Glad you dig, man. Yeah, it's got some, definitely has some layers to it. There's a bit to unpack. I'm like Little John. Okay. Yeah, this is I dig this one. This might be this is I was gonna say this is probably my second or third favorite of the night, and it's probably pretty darn close to the King's Family 10 year um, in terms of you know where it's rating in this lineup here. So yeah, again, I think this is something that would make a roster. Big league ready. My dad's side of the family's from Wisconsin. Where was Fargo? That was what, Minnesota? Is that Fargo or North Dakota? I just remember they were talking about going to see the Gophers. So Minnesota somewhere. Those 10 years were all single barrels and unique. Yeah. Travis, what were the price points on the 10-year single barrels? I would speculate what 100 to 100 and maybe 10, 120. North Dakota, yeah, that tracks. 99.99. So for a 10-year bourbon, that's legit, right? I mean, that's not overcharging. That's right in line with the 10 years age, $10 a year, whatever. Um, doesn't sound gougy. It sounds appropriate. So that's something that I would definitely pay that price for, I think. I've had Kings County, New York, but you have yet to try Kings Family. Richie, the only one I've had from Kings County was a Mash and Journey pick from a few years ago. And it's one of the darkest whiskeys that I've got in my entire collection. It's like straight motor oil. Um, but it's delicious. I don't think it's terribly old. I haven't gone back to it in a while, but it's a banger. And that's still the only thing I've tried from Kings County since then. So it's been a minute. I've definitely gotten more into the Kings family since the last Bardstown Blitz, because Travis must have had a few bottles there, we'll say. And they've got a lot of different offerings. They have a Monster 129 proof one right now. It's 11 years and it's a 36% rye mash bill. That sounds interesting. Kings County goes for dark profiles. Yeah, Richie, it almost looks like black coffee. Movie Fargo is in Minnesota. Yeah. Second favorite Coen Brothers movie, I think, besides Lebowski. 1 or 2 more. David Smith is in the house. How you doing, David? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. What's going on out in the West Coast? Western side of the country, maybe not so much the coast, I guess, but what's going on? Coffee notes and dark caramels and dried fruits. Yeah, that's probably some right on the money descriptors, Richie. It's dark and dense and thick and all of those things. The new batch 20 Kings County name. Kings County came out hazmat in his killer. Oh Jesus. Are you an East Sider, Mac? You've never done this before, but seeing as it's special circumstances all. They had True Coat. They put that on at the factory. There's not much we can do about it here. No worries. There is a real Fargo in North Dakota. Yeah, is that like Wells Fargo Bank part of? Hot as balls 100 here today. Okay, that tracks. I mean, it got up to like 65-ish here in Michigan today. I'm new to them, but need to try more bottles. Yeah, That might be one that I want to take another look at too, Richie. Uh, I'm surprised I didn't go down that rabbit hole after that first one because that first one was so good. I believe the movie spanned 2 states. They were adjacent, don't you know? Yeah, that true coat. New York, there you go. So that's like in your backyard, right? Long Island, Jerry Lynn. Gary, I might have seen that movie a time or two. Hit that like button. Yeah, sure, why not? Even if you don't like it, you can click the thumbs down. I think that gets probably just as much attention. I don't know. Um, 81 out of South Nashville. Dang, we're hitting those high temps. I mean, I think it's safe to. I shouldn't say anything. I was gonna say it's safe to put the storm doors on here up in Michigan, but I'll say that, and then tomorrow it'll be snow flurries. All right. All right, so we had a pretty good run here of ones that are making the roster. The only one I'm sending down so far is this Florida one, Lost Lantern St. Augustine Distillery. Let's see what else I've got here that sounds a little off profile. Okay, now that's something else. Okay, here's another one. So, Randall, if you're watching, cheers to you for finding just the most obscure stuff and sending it to me to try. This is Trail's End straight bourbon whiskey finished with Oregon oak, like the state. 8 years, 45% ABV, so it's a light, lower proof point, and it's Oregon whiskey. I don't think I've heard of that brand. I know I've got something from Oregon. By the way, do you say Oregon or Oregon? I always said Oregon, but maybe it's because I'm from the Midwest. I think out west they say Oregon. I don't know. David Smith, why don't you help us out there? But this sounds odd. Finished with Oregon oak. What the heck does that even mean? Okay, Richie Z. Love Trails and 10-year Oregon. It's aged in Garyana oak, Tom. Is that what Oregon oak is? Is Garyana, Richie? Is that like a synonym or is that? I just don't know. Help a brother out. Yep, 38, 22 here tomorrow. Welcome to Michigan. Dude, are you serious? I just know we're getting a bunch of rain right now, but it was warm. Oregon Spirit 7-year cask bourbon is amazing. Maybe that's what I have. I got I think it's called Oregon Spirit, but it's not cask strength. I want to say it's like 90-ish. Maybe it's 100 at the most. I didn't care for it. It was very grainy and young. So I've got it sitting upstairs in a decanter. I don't think I've had it sip from it in quite some time. I think that's what it is, but it's not the cask strength. So maybe the cask strength is fantastic. I don't know. But let's find out if this Trail's End straight bourbon whiskey, finished with Oregon oak, 8 years, so decent age statement, 45%, pretty good. All right, let's see. Kings County 80/20 mash bill. No rye on their mash bill. I have 31 proof. Not your jam, really. Okay. Yeah, you got to be in a mood for something that dark and dense, Lance. And for me, that's usually in the colder months. They're supposed to be 62. We say Oregon. Okay. I've actually got family out there. I think that's how they say it. I always say Oregon. They probably call me a Yankee or something stupid. I don't know. Corvette Trey is in the house. What's going on, dude? How are you? Oh, this has an interesting nose. I'm not even sure what I would describe this as. I would describe it as unfamiliar. Everybody's saying hey to Corvette Trey, like he's the mayor. How you doing, Corvette Trey? Everything going down in Tennessee? Just sipping on some early times tonight. Okay. Cheers, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know if I like it or not, but it is different. Almost like rose petal or something. I don't know. This is weird. Nap time over. Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody had this? Trails End? Yeah, it's not bad. It's just strange. All right. It feels like it's got some spice to it, like a rye. There's no mention of that on the label here, but I wonder if it's like a higher rye mash bill because there's a good bit of spiciness in the mid palate at the end. Blue cap or black? Black. All right. If I know Corvette Trey, he's drinking the good stuff. Yeah. Weird funk and spice on this one. I've had Trails End 8-year, but it was a bourbon van pick, finished in McCarthy's peated barrel. Wow, that sounds wild. You know, it's interesting how many people, or how polarizing rather, peat is. And I wonder if it has to do with how early on in your whiskey journey you discover or try peat. Um, if that has any role in how much you like it or dislike it. I happened to try it relatively early, and I just thought it was amazing. Um, I think the first one I tried was the Laphroaig 10-year, like their standard was about a 90 proofer, and I didn't know whiskey could be that, and I thought it was fantastic. Ah, Jen, what? Oh, I'm trying to read that in the right with the right pronunciation. I don't know if I'm doing it. Again. Is that with the Boston accent? That's- The Bourbon Van ended their channel recently. I did see that. I was a subscriber to their channel. I don't think I ever got any other picks though. I thought that they put out fun content, and it was always interesting to see them shoot stuff out of the back of their van. Usually some good backgrounds and visuals, and you know, they had a pretty good repertoire between the two of them. So it was a fun channel to watch. It is interesting to see, you know, Richie, I think you mentioned this on one of your Instagram posts recently that, you know, they recently have noticed some channels going away, but there are others that are coming to the forefront. There's no shortage of people on YouTube doing whiskey content, and probably a good time for me to mention. Next week, I'm going to be streaming, and I've got some guests that I've never really met or talked to too much. But they've got a channel that I think is just amazing, and I think it's a newer channel, or at least I just discovered it recently. But I'm going to have Scott and Art of Artfully Bourbon as my guests next week. We'll be interviewing them. I got a blind flight over to them. We'll have some fun. We'll get to know them a little bit about their channel. If you're not familiar with it, go check it out. It's Artfully Bourbon. If you watch a lot of Whiskey Tube, you've probably seen them, but I hadn't until recently. And I sat down and started watching some of their content, and it was eye-opening. So I've got a lot of questions to ask those guys. Artfully Bourbon are great. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to talking to those guys, getting to know them a little bit. I think their content is it's top notch. Let's see, and then there, yeah, Gary, you and I both, right? We don't quite go away. Here's what I like to think, Gary. I think some of the channels that maybe have kind of ended their run recently, maybe we're doing too much content and pushing it too hard, and maybe burning themselves out. I like to think that you and I are maybe kind of pacing ourselves a little bit. We don't put out videos every week, or not even necessarily every other week. There's occasional content. Occasionally we'll do something. We're just enough to remind you that we're still there. And we're like one of those cars that has low miles on it, that still has maybe some tread on the tire left. I don't know. At least that's how I like to think about it, Gary. Artfully Bourbon. There you go, Eric. If you guys watch them, if not, go check them out. They put out some great content. And Eric, it's not just that it's good content. It is, but it's the production, and that's what Tyler and I watched, and he was just floored with like how they were doing like their B-rolls and their stuff like that. So looking forward to nerding out with those guys a little bit, and of course talking whiskey too. That was more of a flare. Yeah, every so often it'll just be like a little outbreak. I'll put like 2 videos out in a week. Fuck it, right? It might not be very frequently, but occasionally. They're very pro. Yeah, they've got to have some background in video production or television or something. It doesn't look amateurish at all. It looks on a different level. So we'll see what makes those guys tick next week. All right. So this Trails End, I'm thinking, is not quite up to major league level. It's going down to the minors, but maybe AAA. Maybe it just needs a little bit of time. Not a ton, but needs something. It's not quite doing it for me. It's interesting. Like, there's some potential there, I think. But in terms of a total product, not so much. Not yet. Not to me. Again, not bad, but not major league level, I don't think. Is it the 7th inning stretch yet? That's a good question, Randall. If nothing else, it's time for a little bit of H2O here. Have you seen Whiskey Nose? That guy? Oh, boy. Yeah, Marty, it was fun hanging out for a bit on your stream the other night. I just all of a sudden I was like, man, I couldn't stop like yawning. Like, I was just, I could barely stay awake, and it's been like for me, it's been like that way all week. Like, I'll be yawning. I'm like looking at my wife, like I'm ready to go to bed. She's like, dude, it's not even 9 o'clock. Like, I'm usually good until about 10, but just lately this week, it's been hitting me hard, man. I'm barely making it up past 9 o'clock recently. So I went back and watched the rest of your stream after I cashed out, Marty, and that was awesome. 5 years is a milestone, and I told Marty this. It's not. I'm glad that we kind of took a moment to recognize, because Richie, like we were talking about here, like channels go away, they burn out, and to continue to grind it out and put out some content and chase bottles and put together thumbnails and do live streams, while it is fun, yes, don't get me wrong, but it is work. It is time out of your schedule. It is a bit of a grind sometimes, and sometimes you hit a block where you're just like, what am I doing? So it's to stay at it for 5 years is definitely worthy of you know, the recognition that we all kind of stopped and gave him the other night. So again, cheers to you, Marty. And thanks again for being such an ally to all of us small channels. I know that means a bit to you, is you know, pulling us all together and making us all feel like we're part of something bigger. We're the channels Whiskey Tube deserves, but not the ones it needs. To think about that, Gary. Maybe it is the content that we deserve. Yeah. World's Worst Bourbon Channel. Always check out Gary's videos. What's, to me, the most amusing part of Gary's videos is I get the notifications, and he'll do his videos often the premiere style, and I'll click it right away, and it'll say like there's 4 minutes to the video premiere. I'll wait the 4 minutes, and then the video's done in about 30 seconds. So leave those notifications on for Gary's videos. It's not going to take a lot of time out of your schedule. Just come on, sit and watch it for a minute. It's a grind on here on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. In Mac, you know, a part of it is, you know, that keeps us going is you know, just something random. Like you'll get a text from somebody out of the blue, or something in the mail, or somebody will reach out to you, and you know, you'll connect with somebody. It just kind of reminds you what it is that kind of got you into this, in what keeps you going. So don't underestimate the power of you know, reaching out to somebody here and there. I was going to take a week for the swelling in Marty's head. Oh, that's good. That's good. Gary does a video. It's Irish that you wait for. No, some of the I don't know. Gary amuses me to no end, because he's got the same sense of humor as I do. So maybe not everybody does, but he's one of my favorites. Tommy saw the post of some of the channels I used to watch. Yeah, Richie, and a lot of them were, you know, before I really got into it as well. You know, I know you're one of the OGs here, so you're almost like the librarian or the historian of Whiskey Tube. So yeah, you know, I always you know, read what you have to say, and you know, you bring up a name here and there, I'll look it up. But no, it's interesting to just, you know, I would be curious to know what the average lifespan or career arc, you wouldn't call it a career arc, this isn't a career, but the average span of a Whiskey Tube channel. What is it? A couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? I would think it's probably about 2 or 3. I could be wrong. I'm just curious. There you go. Go check out Angry Irish Mac. Good dude. Unless he's a Yankees fan, then I take that back. 2 to 3 years before the burnout. Yeah, it's, to me, it's not so much the burnout, because we've always just done the one night a week. But getting to that one night a week and having been busy like for the first 4 nights of the week, and not having, you know, dedicated any time to think about what type of content you want to do, whether you want to stream or whether you want to shoot a video, that to me is the difficult part of continuing to do this. Is, what do I want to do? Do I want to do a review of you know, of a new bottle? And sometimes I do that, obviously, but you know, by the time I've gotten to a new bottle, all the bigger channels have already done it. So I know that it's not, you know, a huge deal. So I just try to do something that I think is interesting to me. And if people watch it, cool. If they don't, well, you know what? It was fun for me to put it together. But yeah, that's the grind. It's not so much that, you know, trying to keep up with all of the bottles and the releases. It's the mental part of it. Trying to think of something to do that's interesting. Some had real life getting away. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, Richie. It's taxing, and you got to find the time. And the channels that do that regularly, like, you know, we all watch Jason, but how he has the time to dedicate, you know, that much to his channel and his dedication, I don't. There's no way that I could do that. I have about X amount of hours in a given week to devote to the channel, and that's it. Um, so it's only going to be, you know, as good as I can make it on, you know, 4 or 5 hours a week. I can't put out 2 videos a week in a stream that's regular. It's just and life comes at you. And to his credit, he's been doing it for a minute, and he's damn good at it. And there are some others that are really consistent, and you know, I don't know what else they got going on in their lives, but they find the time to keep it consistent. And you know, like SLB Drinks, those guys, they've always got a video first thing Monday morning. I don't know when the other videos are released, but there's always one put out at 8 a.m. Monday morning, no matter what. And to be able to do that consistently every week and have it be something that people want to watch, it's impressive, man. In terms of timely bottle videos, I have Orphan Barrel Indigo Hour coming soon. Gary, I don't even know what that is, dude. It's something new. I think you and I have the angle to get like maybe Evernorth releases before most. But I'll be honest, you know, by the time I've shot a video and Tyler's edited it and we put it out, I'm not the first anyway. But that you know, I'm never going to get the first review on an ECBP or you know, a stag drop or whatever. I'll take them as they come, but I'm never going to be the first in line there. Mark Boyer, hey, you know what, Mark? I've got something here on my bar from you. I'll probably do that next since you're here. What we're doing here, you can kind of see the crawl at the top of the screen. In honor of opening day, I'm going through some samples and determining if these make the major league roster level or if they're minor league material, maybe need a little bit more work. So far, for the most part, I think we've got major league level stuff here, but there's been a couple of exceptions. I've got a sample here from you that I grabbed. It is a Grand Traverse Distillery, hand-selected Old George single barrel cask strength straight rye whiskey, barrel number 520. Mark wrote like a whole paragraph on here. Okay, so 62.65 ABV, hand-selected by GTD Master Distiller. So, Mark, this one's getting its tryout here in just a moment. And I also see Mark is an OG. Yeah, Mark is Mark's an awesome supporter to have. Good dude. We've gotten to be friends, and yeah, it's guys like Mark and you guys that make this go around. Apparently, it's all about the Cardinals here, and it's a how do you get Cardinals? Cardinals are Kansas, what, Missouri? Okay. Well, hey, you just wrote for the Tigers, Mark. That's all you need to know. All right. There's Danny Lopez. Now, I mentioned Danny earlier. He's my baseball buddy. He's probably got better stories than just about anybody else that I know when it comes to baseball. Whether it was from the days that he played, days that he coached, or just stories in general, Danny can really spin a yarn. Danny, what's the favorite baseball team of all time that you've watched? Indigo Hour came out almost 2 years ago. All right, well, that's about the time I you know, take me to get around to doing a review. That is Landis Rabish bottle. He passed away. I do remember hearing about that, Mark. It was been a minute, right? So, Mark with the yellow electrical tape here. Cheers, Mark. Mark, you should have something showing up in the mail from me, whether it was today or tomorrow. But check your mailbox. All right, so let's give Grand Traverse Distillery. This is not to be confused with Traverse City Whiskey Company, though I'm sure a lot of people that aren't in Michigan do make that, do confuse the two. I probably would. It's a similar enough name. But Grand Traverse Distillery, the difference between them and Traverse City Whiskey Company is that Grand Traverse is their own distillate. Traverse City Whiskey Company is sourced, which isn't a knock on them. They make some fantastic stuff, but one's an NDP, one's a distillery. So Grand Traverse. Let's give this a rinse here. It's been a minute since I've had anything from Grand Traverse, Mark. How about you? Okay, so not terribly dark. Cheers, gang. Cheers, Mark. Oh, okay. So this is fruity, citrus, almost like a lemon meringue type vibe. My oldest son's name is Cal. Cal L. Both are fantastic places to go and visit. Yeah, I wouldn't knock either of them. I've been to both, like I'm sure you have many times. Grand Traverse puts on a heck of a tour, and then it's so small. I remember my wife and I went and did the tour probably about 3 years ago, and it was just us and one other couple. So afterwards, we end up in their tasting room, and they've got a lot of different offerings. And the dude that was running our tour was just like, whatever you want, dude. So we tasted through a lot of bottles. Had a great time. Nice people, nice facility. Yeah, it was really cool, really fun time. And I don't know if it was just like an off day or whatever, but there was nobody there. Cal is a strong to quite strong name. Danny, how would Cal's name rate on the Jerkometer in terms of strength of name? I swing in there. Well, cheers to that. All right, so almost like a lemon meringue type vibe on the nose. And this is a rye, right? Okay, rye. What? Legit. Okay, fair. Didn't know it was an upside down pineapple kind of place. Yeah, I don't know if he meant that literally, Hooper. He could answer. He's a big boy. All right, Hooper. Best Michigan distillery, not NDP. Best Michigan distillery. Your opinion. Go. Went to Widow Jane with a buddy recently, and it was below 10 degrees. We were the only two, had some great pours. Hey, you know what? If you make it out and it's that cold and no one else makes it, then they ought to show you a good time, right? Widow Jane is an NDP, right, Irish Mac? I don't know a whole lot about them. I just know they're from New York, or I think they're from New York. New Holland, it's hard to argue with that, Hooper. I would tend to agree with you. As far as stuff that's made here, what is it between New Holland, Iron Fish now, Journeyman, Detroit City Distillery, Grand Traverse Distillery. Those are the ones that I can think of offhand that make their own. And of those, yeah, it's probably New Holland for me as well. Detroit's got some good stuff here and there, but they're not consistent enough yet. Grand Traverse, same thing. Iron Fish, the only one I've had from them so far that was their own distillate, I didn't like. So I think they got potential there, but I think their stuff is still a little bit young. New Holland is the shiz. I think Detroit City is maybe getting there. Yeah, they've got some good stuff, Hooper, but they've also got some stuff that is kind of like a miss. You know what I mean? So they need to be a little bit more consistent, but I'll always try their stuff. I think their prices are great. Danny says Valentine's distillate is legit. The problem that I have with Valentine is that we've had the same a single barrel that they put out a few years back that was their own rye distillate that was, I think it was 7 years old, and it was fantastic. But for the most part, Valentine blends their distillate with MGP. They don't put out a whole lot of stuff that's their own. So I don't know that I've got enough data to form an opinion, but you know, that one single barrel that you and I have both had, you know what I'm talking about. That one was fantastic. I'd like to see more of those for sure. Journeyman is New Holland. No, Journeyman is Journeyman. They are their own outfit. They are all the way on the west side of the state, even further west than New Holland. The name of the city escapes me. Three Oaks, Michigan. Is that it, Gary? We've been there once, and it was super fun to visit. But it is their own distillate and is not affiliated with New Holland, as far as I understand it. I enjoyed their the Corsets, Whips, and Whiskey. Yeah, that's their one. That one Minix Whiskey of the Year a couple of years in a row, and that's their wheat whiskey. I think it's 100% Michigan wheat whiskey, and it's good. Some single barrels are better than others, even. But yeah, that's their pride and joy. They've got some other releases that are also interesting whiskey, or interesting Richie. But yeah, that's their meal ticket for sure. I do love some Valentine. Yeah, we like going to Valentine for sure. If we're in the mood to have a cocktail. Well, I like it, Tom. Danny doesn't back down when he's got an opinion, and I like that about Danny. I do love me some Valentine. Okay, so my wife, when we go there, has a pickle martini, right? What's the name of the bar there, Hooper? It's got a name. I can't think of it. It's right in downtown Ferndale. Valentine could be another one coming up. I would like to see more Valentine stuff that is theirs and not blended. Not that the blended stuff isn't fantastic. I would just like to see more of their own. Yeah, Three Oaks. That's all their own stuff. Yep. Journeyman course. Yeah, 100% wheat whiskey. It's great. Yep. I've had some batches that are better than others. Some are geez, what are they, like red tops, Danny? Those are the ones that you want to look for. Apparently New Holland and Journeyman. Hey, Jason's here. What's going on, Jason? Happy opening day. I know Jason's a Mets fan. Did the Mets happen to play yet? If so, did they win? Did they lose? What'd they do? How are they looking this year? As well as Michigan. Hooper, they have 2 locations. I think the second one is in is it Valparaiso, which is Indiana. So they didn't move. They just have two locations. That's an interesting business model. But the one in Michigan, I don't know if you went there, Hooper, but it's like this big, huge restaurant, which is fantastic. They've got like a cool store with all their merch, and you can get all their bottles. In the back, which is completely bizarre, they have a gigantic putting green that is the size of, I wouldn't say a football field, maybe about half the size of a football field with the roll. It's just one of these things you have to see because it's completely unique and bizarre and cool at the same time. So if you're out that way, definitely check out Journeyman. It's just a strange, fantastic place. And I actually took my wife and kids there before Tyler was old enough to have a drink. And my kids actually had fun there too. Jason is in the house. All right. Journeyman are in. Okay. Apparently, New Holland Journeyman are in the new walleye offering. What? Fisherman's badge. All right. I need to know more about this, Mark. But if there's a collaboration between Journeyman and New Holland, I would definitely like to hear about it. There it is, Mash and Drum. Go check out Jason, obviously, if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. They wanted to expand in Three Oaks, but the local politicians made that near impossible. So they set up larger production and aging in Valpo. Reds are single barrels. Yes. So if you can find a Corset's Whips and Whiskey with a red wax top, get it. Bella's Lounge, right? Bella's. Mets pounded the Pirates. All right. Oh yeah, I saw Skeens got roughed up. Hate to see it. Brand new team this year, knocked around. Okay, there it is. Paul Skeens today in the first inning. I saw that. They knocked him out. It sounded like it was a combination of him not having it and the center fielder maybe misplaying a couple of balls that kind of led to an early lead for the other team. But hey, win's a win. Take it and move on to the next one. Mets manhandled Skeens. Okay. To be fair, center field. Okay, there you go. That's what I saw the highlights, and that was what's his name? O'Neal Cruz, like their big. I wouldn't say their big prospect or their big star, but the best guy that they've got on their team besides Skeens. And it looked like he was just looking up into the sun and just should have had those sunglasses that you flip down or something, but just looked like an amateur out there. Looked bad, but yeah, to see Skeens not make it out of the first inning was kind of wild, right? I think that's the one starter that they've got that you're going to get a good game. Long season. All right. So back to this Grand Traverse. Where am I going to come in on this one, Mark? Lemon meringue, citrus, honey. It's got some oomph to it for a rye for sure, and I do think as far as Michigan ryes go, the Grand Traverse one is probably amongst my favorite. They do some nice stuff with it too. I know they've got a maple finished rye that actually my wife is a big fan of that we've chased down before. It's great in an old fashioned. I dig this. Yeah, Old George Grand Traverse Distillery. No problem recommending this one if you haven't tried anything from Grand Traverse. These are pretty friendly price wise. I think usually about 70-ish. But yeah, good stuff. A lot of people will mix them up with Traverse City Whiskey Company, which they have no affiliation with, and they'll tell you all about that on their tour. Cheers, Mark. Thanks for the sample, buddy. All right, so Fritzy, I kind of glossed over this. Have y'all hear Pernod Richard and Brown Forman and talks about a merger? I have not. What is Pernod Ricard? Is that a big like conglomerate like Campari or one of those big conglomerates, Fritzy? Tell me a little bit more. There he is, Randall, Off Topic Whiskey. If you're tuning in late, but I was calling you out as the dude that sends me the most off the wall stuff in terms of samples, just some completely bizarre stuff, and I love it. So cheers, Off Topic Whiskey. Cheers, Randall. And Gunderson, put up a link for Off Topic Whiskey if you don't mind. Good dude to check out for sure. I've only tried one Journeyman. Come on, Hooper, you're a Michigan guy. You're supposed to be. Everyone raved about Corset's Whips and Whiskey. That's when I found out that wheat whiskey gives me black licorice notes every time. Wow. Okay. There was a good minute where ryes were giving me spearmint toothpaste vibes, and I had to find out, which ones I couldn't do and which ones I liked. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. See if a red label makes a difference. If not, they've got a well, this probably wouldn't help you out much, but they've got a rye wheat blend, which is I think about 60-40 rye, 40% wheat. They've got some interesting mash bills at Journeyman. I'll text you. Okay, Tom, thoughts on the sample? Mark, I dig it. I don't love it, but I think it's really good. You know what I mean? It drinks more like a bourbon than a rye. It's got a lot of nice citrus notes to it, like some honey, like lemon meringue. Not a huge overpowering finish, but it does let you know that it's there. I dig it, but I wouldn't say it's like life-changing. It's good. It's good, and that's consistent with, my opinion of a lot of their stuff. I think it's good. All right. Yeah, Pirates made some bad errors. Bright sun in New York today. I guess so, right? Jason C. St. John's. You crack any samples for me, Tom? Danny, you know what? Let's see what I got left here. I try to get through yours first because you always send me the aged Denor, and I try to get through these and get them back to you. Here's one that I haven't touched. And let me cork this up and put it aside here. Say that one's decent enough to hit a roster. All right, so this is a Danny sample, and for those of you that don't know or whatever, Danny's local to me, one of my best friends. We exchange samples I would say about every month. Is that about right, Danny? And when we exchange samples, we always exchange in the aged Denor. So I've got about a dozen. Danny's got, I don't know, however many he's got. And we always, at any given time, if I don't have aged Denor bottles, I know Danny's got them all. They're just a lot easier to exchange if you're actually handing them off and not shipping them. So this, anyway, you guys care about that. This is the Penelope American Light Whiskey 17 year. And Danny, more often than not, fills these right to the brim. So I always got to make sure that I open it on a level surface so I don't spill. So this is the Penelope American Light Whiskey 17 year. Did they just release the 18 year? Is that what I'm seeing around the whiskey tubes? All right, so a little bit of pour, a little bit of a pour of this, not full sample, but a little bit here. Penelope 17 year American Light Whiskey. Thank you to my good buddy, Danny Lopez. Thank you for your support. And just thanks for being one of my favorite dudes, man. All right, Tiffany says good stuff. That's you're referring to the old George, the Grand Traverse. I know she likes that. Tiff knows her her booze burger. What? Cheers, buddy. There you go. Yeah, go check out Randall over at Off Topic Whiskey. He really likes to dissect the stuff. You think Jeffrey Wack gets into the details. Go check out Randall for a minute. Randall the Express, C922 tonight, 12-year brown sugar bomb. I don't know if I've got that one. Danny does. Danny probably gave me a sample of it before. There you go. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. Tiffany says, how are you, Mark? Sipping on a store pick stag at 133 proof. Yeah, I did try that one, Danny. I did like that one. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Tom. How are we doing? I always appreciate the most bizarre stuff, and second to none, the stuff that you send me is the most off the wall stuff that I would never find anywhere else. All right, us Randalls need to stick together. Yes, Mark Boyer. It's been a tough week for a caregiver. Drinking some really good scotch. What do you got there, Mark? Wheated bourbon and wheated rye are fine. It's wheat whiskey. Okay, that's interesting. Journeyman was the most. Do you not like black licorice? I mean, ooh, this smells hot. It's not phenomenal, but it's good. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, Mark. It's good, for sure. Danny Tom said if you sent anything good, he would have tried. No, we have a little group chat with Danny and a few of our local buddies here, and we always post pictures of what we're sipping, and I know I've blown through a lot of the ones that he sent most recently. Let's see that. Black wax. Okay, yeah, look for a red one, Hooper. Okay, that's a good one. Need to send you more samples since I have. Geez, do you really have that many? I've got way too many, and I think I don't even know how many I've got down here. I don't want to say since my wife is watching. Um, she sees the collection when she walks down here, but it's not nearly 1,200, dear. See that number? Mine's but a fraction of that. All right, Penelope, 17-year American Light Whiskey. Ooh, it smells like candy. Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, how would I describe that? That is like vanilla cake, which is what I get when I drink a lot of American light whiskeys. Um, this one has the most just delicious like vanilla cake note. It doesn't have that funk that I usually get with light whiskeys. Maybe it's because of the really high age statement. I don't know, but this is definitely one of the better American light whiskeys that I've had. Um, yeah, and it doesn't drink anywhere near the proof point that's stated here, Danny. But that age really seems to have rounded it out. That is really nice. Thanks, buddy. Show, show off, right? I just wonder where you keep that many bottles, Mark, because I know what I have and I know how much space that takes up. So I don't know where you're putting all these. I'd have to build like another structure. I want the EC15. Yeah, that is one that did sound enticing. At the price point and the proof point that it was coming in at, it sounded way better than the 18. Why is one whiskey? Can't stick around and have a good stream. Pump Tiger started on a high note, but it's still hockey season. Is Why is one whiskey? Is that who I think it is? Is that our friend Brandon over at Evernorth? If so, cheers, buddy. If it isn't you, well, hey, cheers and thanks for checking us out regardless. But yeah, Pump Tiger started on a high note, but it's still hockey season. I'm not a hockey fan. I'm a Tigers fan, and I followed the stream, I guess you'd call it, today, and watched McGonigal go 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles, and is nice way to start the season. So cheers to you. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. So I have a C922 that I haven't cracked yet. I don't know if I have 22s, but I have that C923 still. Somebody's pants are on fire. No, I don't have 1,200 bottles. I will tell you it is about a quarter of that. Yeah, it's sweet. Great after dinner whiskey. That might be a good way to describe it, Danny. It's definitely on the sweeter side. It's something that you're going to sip rather than pound because it is. It definitely got some heat to it, but it doesn't drink its proof. It is kind of desserty. I get that. It's a nice pour. I have about 350 and 330 are open. Bigger issue. I'm probably close to that, dear, if you really want to get down to it. And Hooper, if I have 300 bottles, probably 295 of them are open. The others are backups. Richie, light whiskeys are usually really delicious, but just one or two, no wonder. Yeah, they're not terribly complex in terms of the notes, Richie. I think it's kind of what you're saying, and I would tend to agree with that. And I'm guessing that probably has something to do with the fact that they are in used barrels and not new barrels, right? Is that what you think? Love Open. Is that what you're drinking, Mark? Is he open? I just wish I could post pictures. Maybe you don't want to see them. The Open 15 is getting great reviews. You know, if you guys are not Scotch fans, and for whatever reason, a lot of us bourbon people hate Scotch. I don't. I love Scotch. That's kind of how I got into whiskey. But if you are not inclined to dig Scotch, one pour that you might seek out is the Oban 14, which is pretty readily available. It's like their flagship. I don't know what it goes for in terms of price anymore, but I can tell you that it's pretty readily available. And it is how would I describe it? It is like one of those whiskeys that if you're going to draw a Venn diagram of all of the different things and, proof and notes and, mouth, all of the things that you like about a whiskey, if you're going to draw a Venn diagram, I feel like Oban 14 is going to be kind of right in the middle. Like it's something that just kind of appeals to everybody. So if you don't think you like Scotch, try Oban 14. And if you don't like that one, well, then hey, maybe you're right. You just don't like Scotch. Okay. He went 4 for 5 according to the box score I read. Yes, Gary, he is hitting 800 by my math. Saw a story Michigan Post EC15 today, but I didn't get what? I can send you a sample of the Oban 15 cask strength if you want to try it. I would not turn that down. I have no bottles that I don't have an open version of. Yeah, exactly. That's how I am, Hooper, as well. In fact, when I get something new, I usually crack it that day or that weekend. Mark Boyer is on the other end of that spectrum. He just gets them and maybe he opens them. I think he is probably, you tell us, Mark, but I think most of your bottles are unopened. You get something, you drink it, and the other stuff that you buy, you just put away. Thanks, Eric. But wait, postage is too crazy these days. All right. I can use pirate ships with cost or yeah, guys, for those of you that don't know about pirate ship and you like to send samples or anything else, download it. It's free, don't cost you anything. And you will be amazed at what you save in terms of shipping costs. Like you go to UPS and you want to ship a package of samples and you go and you check out and you find out it's like $19 or something. You're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's what it costs. You do the same thing on your own. You do pirate ship and you'll find out that it's like $8. So if you multiply that by, whatever it is your scale is, you will find out you are saving a shitload of money. So one of the best things that you'll do if you are shipping any volume of things, check out pirate ship. What? Danny, you got to tell me where that dropped. I would really like to get my hands on that. Waiting on Ardbeg 10 cask strength. Now, that is another one that I would definitely track down. Again, I dig the peated stuff. I haven't gone back to it much in a long time, but I'm a big fan of the Ardbeg 10, which is what, Marty, is about 90, set in the mid 90s in terms of proof. I would be really curious to see what a cask strength variant of that is like. Only way to ship. The Express knows. He has spoken. Compass Box Art and Decadence is best scotch ever. I've had I've had Compass Box Peat Monster. That's a good one. I wouldn't say it's the best ever, but we all have different opinions, different palates. Hooper, you've got to tie it to a bank account somehow. It does take a minute, but it's worth your while. Trust me. Bevy Warehouse posted. Okay. I think I followed that. How did I miss all this? Jason's going to have a review on this like tomorrow. I didn't even know it's out. A cheap digital scale on Amazon for 20 and you'll save a lot on shipping. There you go. EC15. Danny, what is it going for local? I would really like to find out and track one down. Is that one of the ones that you guys are chasing the rest of the year here? Are there any big whales this year that people are chasing? I don't really get into the whole hunting aspect. Most of my purchases are honestly through different groups, and I buy them online. I don't go to the stores too frequently unless there's something very specific that I want. My PayPal is what I use with Pirate Ship. 150. Okay, if I could find an EC15 for $150, I would be I would be in all day. Even at 160, I think. BW. I've noticed a lot more local stores posting up Buffalo Trace releases and them sticking around for a little bit longer than normal. Would love to get a JT. You're just not, Danny, unfortunately. I think if you want one, I don't know what the MSRP is. What is it, about 150? I think if you want one local, you are going to be looking at about 3. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I would be prepared to expect. Picks for me in 26. Yeah, I mean, last year that was most of what I was doing. I don't chase much anymore, but I love to find the 2026 still Austin Tanninger. I got the 24, didn't get the 25. Yeah, I got the 24, didn't get the 25. I don't have FOMO. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Would have loved the 25, but I'm not going to lose sleep over not getting it. It's just like your opinion, man. I'm just a dude, man. What do you want from me? Just jerk on the internet, especially our picks. Yeah, I look forward to those Silver Spring Ryes this year. They are just so good, but I feel they will disappear by mid-year. I think there is a lifespan on those based on what they are, where they're coming from, and what they're selling for, Randall. So I do think that getting the picks now and kind of making them last for a little bit is probably a good move, because I think you're right. I think once they're gone, you're just not going to see these anymore. I don't see how they can continue to source that kind of stuff and sell it for that price. Not worried. Yeah, Richie, there's so many good bottles out there, right? All right, well, I'll tell you what, guys. It is about 9:15. Like I said, I'm not doing any giveaways tonight. I don't know who else is streaming tonight, but I think we're probably getting close to the end of my useful life for tonight. Anyway, I think at the end of the day, for the most part, all of these pours that I had, all of these samples were what I would call major league level. If you weren't, they weren't bad. They just weren't quite up to par with respect to the others. I would say this Penelope 17 year is definitely a major leaguer as well. Nancy is probably, yeah, right. I think getting the one that I did in 24 was a fluke. Randall, sending him a sample. All right, Boyer, so generous. All right, so guys, I think I'm gonna cash in my chips here. If you're a baseball fan and your team hasn't played yet, they're playing a West Coast team, go check out your games. I don't know, have a pour, enjoy the rest of your night. You got Friday tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, but I got a pretty light day, so I'm gonna be playing some catch up. Maybe have a nice dinner when I come home. Have a couple of pours. I don't know, hang out, follow the Tigers. But cheers to all you guys for hanging out tonight. I appreciate all of you guys. You know who you are. Check us out next week. Next week's stream will be a bit more involved. Like I said, we've got guests. We'll have giveaways. It'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'll get a thumbnail out pretty quickly here to start promoting it, because I think it's going to be a really good time. So until next time, guys, cheers. Thanks for watching. Stay jerky.